Hey, there's Joe Sonic Disruptive. How are you? I am very good. Time to review the latest album from Soilwork. Soilwork are a band I slept on, like, until just a couple years ago. I started listening to them. I listened to their album, that Valk Leighton. That's not how you pronounce it, but that album, very good. Then I got into their latest EP, which was fantastic. And I really took a deep dive into their older material in the back catalog and found out this is one hell of a band. So, their latest album, Övergivenheten. That's not how you pronounce it, I don't think, but something like that, because I heard it on an interview. Anyway, that comes out August 19th via Nuclear Blast Records. And this album, for me, like the first time I heard it, and I'm trying not to go overboard, but what I heard, my ears heard a instant modern classic. Nothing less than that. Like, future Joe, when I'm 80, will look back and be like, you know, some of the best metal albums ever were Screaming for Vengeance, Master of Puppets, Operation Mindcrime, and Övergivenheten. Something like that, perhaps. Now, that's high praise, and I understand, but this connects the head and the heart in such a fantastic and almost mysterious way that I can't even understand it myself. Like, I think I've had this for probably a month now, and I've listened to it probably 70 times, full, straight through. There's nothing you skip on this album. There's no place to skip if you wanted to. You can't do it. It is some of the finest writing that I've heard in a long time. This is going to sound like a praise fest, that I really enjoy this album, and yeah, it is a praise fest. This is, at the moment right now, this is easily the best album of the year for my own personal taste. And what I mean by that is it feels to me that somebody came up to me and asked me what my perfect album would be, and then they took all those elements and made an album. And this is it. It's just the perfect mixture of melody with the aggressive side. And it's done so fantastically that this thing is so great to listen to. Production-wise, it's very organic. Like, the instruments all sound like the instruments they are. It's very warm sounding. Sometimes, especially, I found in the earlier albums, even in Soilwork, it could be too brittle, too metallic sounding. And this isn't. This is warm and organic sounding, while not losing any of the heaviness. But the way that this album is blended, like there's so many fine lines they walk. And when I said it's the perfect blend of the head and the heart, from a head standpoint, if you're just going into this as a music geek, there's so much to dig into. There's so much musical information. The melodies here are creative, inventive, and yet they are also familiar in a way at the same time, enough so they are incredibly memorable. Once you listen to this album, every song here is completely memorable. You can sing along with the song right after it's done. And sometimes that can be a bad thing because it means the song is too simple. Not here at all. These songs are complicated. They are layered, they are rich, and yet there's always some huge chorus, some great hook that just, it draws you in immediately. And then they hit you with everything else. But perhaps I'm not doing a good job explaining this, but I think this is some of the best music I've heard in years. Like, it's one of those albums that each time you listen to it, you hear a song, you're like, this is the best song on the album. The next song comes, you're like, oh no, this is the best song on the album. And it keeps going almost the entire album. I think there's 2 songs that I can say aren't my favorite songs on the album. And both of those songs I love. Harvest Spine and Death I Hear You Calling. Both of those songs are excellent. I just know that neither one of those are my favorite song. I don't think I can say that about any other song. That I know for sure it's not my favorite. Apart from there's a few little interludes here. They just give you this beautiful kind of safe space. These little musical passages, they kind of wrap you up and rock you kind of to sleep. You're upset and they rock you back to sleep before shoving you back out into the darkness, which, lyrically speaking, there's a lot of darkness in this album, musically speaking as well, but like I said, it is so, the melodies on this album are next level. The songwriting here is next level. And I think one of the greatest things about the, I'm blanking on the name, Night Flight Orchestra, one of the best things about that band is I think it really gave Bjorn the confidence in his vocals to be able to do anything. And it really shows up here. I think this is, the entire album is his finest vocal performance of any Soilwork album I've heard previous. It's so great. The way it's melded together, the harshes and the cleans. But it's not cookie cutter, harsh, clean. It's not that. You can have both of them together. Some are just clean, and there's these walls of sound. Just the way they are pieced together, and it's his voice is absolutely incredible. I mean, there are so many moments in here that my hair stands on end when I listen to it, even after 70 times. So I know I'm probably repeating myself and not going into too much depth here, but so you've heard the first 2 songs. Singles, they're fantastic. Electric, again, is just, it's brutal and yet beautiful, as is every song on here. The lyrics are so good. I feel it's about probably getting older and not being able to be what you once were. And being a individual of 50 years old, I definitely feel those lyrics. Valleys, the melodic nature of the song and the melancholy that the song gives you is something to behold. Is It in Your Darkness is a absolute beast of a song. Vultures, I know I said every song is my favorite. Vultures is perhaps my favorite. The next song is one of these nice musical interludes that's beautiful. Death I Hear You Calling. Maybe the catchiest song Soilwork has ever created. But now This Godless Universe is the next song here, and this thing is, words can't describe it. It's that good. And you can go down the line here. The last song is a masterpiece of epic proportion, and this album as a whole is, like I said, I truly believe this is an instant classic. Like, it's got a timeless feel to it where I don't think in 20 years, I don't think you'll be like, oh, that's so 2020s. I don't hear any time. I hear great metal. And you can put whatever label you want on it, but for me, it's just great metal, great writing, great music, light, shade, everything you want. And it's just done so perfectly. So I'm a big fan of the David Anderson era. My favorite Soilwork material is since he's come into the band. And this continues on with that experimental nature, that pushing it into more progressive territories while still holding on to the heart of what Soilwork is. It's a incredible album, and if you're a fan of heavy music, you have to give this a listen. It's a must. It's impossible not to enjoy this album. So there you are, the best album this year. Will it hold on to that position? Well, it's going to hold on to at least the top 3. It probably will hold on to the top position. I can't think of much else. There's one album coming out in a couple weeks that, just from my heart standpoint, could top it. Just for nostalgia reasons. But other than that, I honestly think this is probably one of the best albums in the last 10 years. It's that good. Check it out. Soilwork, Övergivenheten, August 19. This is as good as it gets. Thank you very much for watching. See ya.